Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Lightfoot Effects. Today we're going to do part 3 in the Building a Fractal FM9 patch. If you haven't seen any other videos, I encourage you to go back. We have a part 1 where we do amps and mono and stereo, and then we have a part 2 where we go into overdrives. Then we'll do part 3, which is this video, where we're going to focus on chorus and octave pedals, or pitch modulation. I'll be playing this same telly that I've played in the last 2 videos. It's just a Fender Custom Shop 51 no caster with the stock 51 Fender pickups. That said, let's get to it. Okay, so you might recall, last thing we did on the pedal board here is we set up a clon pedal and a shimmer heavier gain, and then we got a boost, and then we set up a tuner. I opened up my Fractal FM9 edit. We have the demo patch open right now, so here is how it sounds. We'll do modulation. Now, they say modulation sounds best when it's ran before drive pedals. And then there's some people that like to run it after. It's definitely up to whatever you want to do. We'll run it before the drives, but if you want, you can run it after them. Just follow this along, and you would put them probably in one of these areas instead of where I'm going to put it, which will be like right around here. So the chorus pedal, you can put it here or here. So let's right click a square. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to choose a chorus, and we'll do chorus 1. And then here in the type is where we'll pick the kind of chorus that we want. There's a few that we can just mess with. They're all set up out of the box. Let's try a few. We'll try the 80s style. And one other thing to note is you can run this in mono if you're following along. This will handle itself if you have a mono chain here. Right now we're just doing it in stereo, but you definitely don't have to do that. You can leave it in mono if you're doing mono. Just don't pick any of the ones that say stereo, or they're gonna sound weird. But what we'll do is let's try a stereo one, like warm stereo, because we're in stereo right now. That one sounds good. It's using the full width of the stereo. We've also got analog stereo. So let's say we're after a certain kind of chorus and we want to see what all they have. We can do our little trick again where we go into the internet and we go to FM9 chorus pedals. And here it is, chorus block for Fractal Audio wiki page. Yeah, let's see what they have. I do like the Dimension C, which is like, I know what the Wazacraft pedals are based off of, and I've heard those are really good. So that's probably the one we're going to end up picking. But they have, you know, a few different types in here where they explain like what the vintage tape one is. They have the Boss ones. And they just kind of go through some of them. Let's do, I know that the Dimension C's are really good, so let's just do that one. Let's start with that. And it looks like we get 3 different types. Let's see if this explains what they do. So if we go to Dimension C, let's see. Chorus prizes Dimension 1, 2, and 3. These correspond to the modes on the original devices. All right, well, it doesn't give us a lot this time, but let's just use our ears. That's Dimension 1. Let's try Dimension 2. All right, let's try Dimension 3. I think out of my favorite one, it's probably either going to be 2 or 3. There's something going on with one that I can't quite figure out that I'm not liking. Let's try dimension 3. They sound very similar. Let's just pick dimension 2. So any chorus pedal you end up picking, you'll have a few options here. On the Fractal, it can be pretty overwhelming. You can sync your chorus to your tempo if you want. So like if you're tapping in your tempo and you want your chorus to match that, we can do that. Let's get that set up because we'll do that with delays eventually. So go into FC Edit. Let's click right down in the bottom right. This will be our tap tempo. So we'll do category. Let's do utility. And we're gonna switch it to tap tempo. And I like my tap tempo to be yellow. I don't know, that's the color I associate. And it already is filled out for us. It says tap tempo, so that's good enough for me. Let's hit save. Now if you look on the pedal here, we can tap in our song beats and you'll see it's changing up here in the FM9 menu. So I tapped in at a 110. So we can sync our chorus to that real quick if we want. We can tell it, to do 8th notes. So it's just doing the rate here. So it's like a tap tempoed chorus. So that's when I tap in it really fast. Then I could do maybe like a slower tap with a song. I would probably do a quarter note. Because I like my chorus to be slow and wide, so quarter note tempo is pretty slow. If I'm having it mapped with a song, it'll keep it pretty wide for me. But if we wanted to unlink this, we can go back to none, and you can set your rate manually, so we'll hear how that changes. I leave the phasing alone. You can mess with this if you like. This changes something to do with the chorus, how it sounds. To be honest, I leave most of this at default. I just like to treat it like a normal pedal. Besides changing, the wave here. Triangle is a good one. I've heard sine waves are a good one for chorus. This is just showing the pattern that the chorus is going in. We don't want square, that makes it pretty glitchy. Log. I either like sine or triangle. Let's try sine again. Yeah, for me it's probably triangle. So the funny thing is the Fractal stuff pretty much has this already set up when you choose the effect, because they kind of have an idea of what sounds good out of the box. The things we're going to focus on is the depth, the rate, and the mix. That's all we're going to mess with. And I'll show you how those all work. We'll keep level at 0 because level is unity, I believe, when it's at 0. This could let you make the chorus louder or quieter. Right now it sounds pretty unified, pretty unity to me. Here's it on, and then here's it off. I'm not seeing a big volume change. If I were losing volume, I would turn this up. I did it drastically, but you could probably bring it up a little bit. My chorus now feels louder though than my dry signal, so I'm actually going to switch it back. Okay, so the rate, I'm going to put the rate with the tap tempo for now, because that's what I would leave it at anyways. And let's just tap in like a, we'll tap in a song there, 75 beats per minute. So let's see how that sounds. So now to make it more pronounced, this is where depth comes in. You can crank the depth up, and that'll make it so it makes more of a drop and up down effect. So we'll hear it. It's more pronounced. If I bring it back, it'll be less pronounced. It'll make it more subtle. Can hear the difference in that sweep. I like it somewhere around a third of its max usually when I'm setting up a chorus pedal. This is because I am not a huge chorus guy. I use it more of a widening effect, maybe just to add a little something to the sound. And then if we started tapping our tempo in quicker, it'll get us more of this effect. It changes it a lot faster. We'll leave it around here though. So those are two things you can do. You can either put a tempo on it or leave it set to none and then just always have it at a set rate. We'll link it for now. I'll leave the depth somewhere around 40-ish. And then I encourage you to mess with these other settings as well if you want. I think the voicings is what adds more chorus. That might be a Wazacraft thing. I'm not totally sure. And then what we'll focus on is mix, and that's just how much of the chorus do we want blended into the normal signal. So mix will give us maximum chorus with our dry signal. See, our dry signal's totally washed out. I would usually run it around maybe a little under 50%. This is just me, like I said, blending it in. And honestly, that sounds great to me. There's not much more to it when it comes to the chorusy stuff. I guess we could do like width, see what that does. I imagine that adds more of a stereo effect. I'm not hearing a huge difference right now. Maybe it'll come through more in the recording, but I'll leave that at 0 for now. And that might be something that's on all the choruses that's more prominent when you pick one. And we'll leave stereo spread at 100. I'm not hearing a big change with that either. But all in all, it sounds like a great generic chorus. I'm not too picky. Like I said, guys, chorus isn't it's not an effect I use all the time, so I'm not a pro at dialing it in. But that's about what I would like in a chorus. Because I do like little things that are, you know, like... It's just little stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll hit save. We will turn it off right now by double clicking it. I want to go back to the FC edit button and let's assign it to something. First, let's assign it to, let's do this button right here. We'll go ahead and do effect. And it's just going to be bypassed. And it's just going to be chorus 1 because it's the chorus 1 block that we chose. And that's sure, that color works. I can associate that with chorus. And let's hit save. We could, instead of calling it chorus 1, we could give it a custom name and just call it chorus. Hit save. And then now it should be ready to go on our pedal board. So if you look on the board here, there's my dry signal, and then here's the chorus on. And then if I hit it again, it's off. So I can turn on my overdrive and then my chorus. Chorus is good to go. I'm gonna hit save again. I forgot, if you hit save when it's on, whenever you go back to this preset, it'll stay on. So whenever I save, I like to make sure I have all the effects I don't want on to be off. So chorus is done. Let's do a pitch effect now. Like I said, if you like your chorus in the back or you want to try it after, you could just drag it over. And I can too even, which right now we can test that. So let's hear how it sounds after the pedals. A few things to try. I like it before. Another thing you can do is you can run it after your amps here. If you want to squeeze it between the cab and the out one, you can. You just got to move the amps over one and then move this over one. You can put it there. I won't do that right now, but you can try the chorus at the end. It'll make it a lot cleaner so your drives aren't really affecting it as much. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a pitch type pedal. So that's going to be, it's going to be called pitch. And this is essentially going to be like your POG or your micro POG or your POG 2 type stuff. So here's the default with it on. And there's a few here. And the one we want to do is dual chromatic. This means I want to have two other sounds that are notes. And we're going to set up like the POGs. So one's a sub octave and one's a higher octave. So we need to find the sub octave first, which is this, that'll be voice 1. So let's find it. We can do, I want it to play that note in F. So it's -12. So cool, we got our sub octave. Now let's get our high octave. We want this one probably to go up 12. So here we are. There's our POG. Let's save that real quick and then we're gonna make some EQ changes to it. We don't need to do any delaying or feedbacking. This is more if you want to kind of separate them out a little bit. I won't touch those. We don't need to really pan them. So here's where we will mess with some stuff. So what this is going to be is a balance of the mix here is how much of the 2 pogs do we want, the 2 octave effects. So I can have it all the way up. But I'd prefer to have my dry signal in. And I want my dry signal to be the most prominent thing still. So let's turn this down. And so this is where it'll come in with the levels of the voicings. How loud do we want the low side and how loud do we want the high side? Let's put them both at 50% real quick. We can make the higher voice more prominent. Or we can make the lower voice more prominent, take out the higher voice. I want the high to be just a little bit in there, just to give me kind of an edge. It's for lead lines to help them poke out. So let's bring it up a little bit. Oh, and then we're remembering our mix. This is how much dry we want versus digital. I'm going to bring down the higher voice just a tad to take it out. Same with the low. I want the low to be subtly in there. I only want the low voice to be a little bit in there. So I can hear it just kind of subtly in there when we'll do more of the higher voice. I think somewhere right there sounds good to me. So let's go back to our foot switch. We'll go to this one and we'll assign that to that effect. We'll go to effect and then let's choose bypass and we'll do pitch and then we'll give it a name. And let's just be real. I'm gonna call it Pog even though it's not, but it's what I associate with. And let's make it pink because the Pog, I don't know, it's not pink, but it's close. So now if we have our pedal board, we can click on Pog off, and then we can click it on. Seems a little higher. I'm gonna bring it down just a tad. Somewhere around there. So let's combine it with like an overdrive. Here's our shimmer drive. Now let's turn on the Pog. So here's without the Pog. Here it is with it on. And then with the boost even. It's a fun little thing. We'll hear it more when we have delay and reverb, but that's it really. That we've got our chorus now. And then our Pog. I decided to bring the mix up just a little more. I think we need a little more of that Pog in here. All right, and so that's it. So today we've added the chorus pedal and the Pog pedal. Those are the 2 modulations that I usually need. There's a lot of other ones in here as well. Like if you ever wanted something besides a chorus, try some other things. Like you can throw in phasers. rotaries. There's all sorts of different things, EQ pedals. So yeah, I encourage you to try putting all sorts of modulation effects. I usually only use chorus and pitch if I'm doing any modulation at all. So we have only one more video coming up after this, and that's going to be part 4, and we will do reverb and delay, and then I'll show how to like lay out a song, and after that, that's going to be it for the Fractal FM9 series. And then from there, we got some more videos planned and that are going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.